Yo. What's up, family? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mental Game Podcast, man. I done changed my setup in my room a little bit, so if you see something out of place, it's out of place. I'm just getting some things together in my room. My man cave where I shoot aka the game room, where I shoot the Mental Game Podcast. I moved everything around. I got like another desk in here to where I got another monitor as well. It's not operating yet. It's something so I can be able to see guests. I'll be able to see like live feeds and stuff like that, and chat with my people while I'm on here on the Mental Game Podcast. Like to my right over here, I got my big brother Lance on the line, and I just want to be able to communicate and engage my people more, man. So if you want to get in here, get on my live, man, say what's up, man. I love the love. You feel me? But welcome back to the Mental Game Podcast, man. If you new here, I appreciate you pulling up for the first time and tuning in on my podcast. If you been rocking with me, then you already know how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, for the month of June, man, shout out to Daddyhood. Everybody part of the Daddyhood, man. The hardest hood to be a part of, man. Not just this month. Well, not just this day, but all month long. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fathers, man. Shout out to the dads, man. The daddies, man. Not just the dudes that just got kids. I'm talking about the dudes that's actively showing up in their kids' life each and every day, at least attempting to try to be there. Shout out to y'all, man. The fathers trying their best every day. I give it up to you, man. The ones dealing with the more difficult baby mamas, and you know who you are. I don't want to hear it. Don't come for me. Come for me in the comments. You know what I'm saying? All publicity is good publicity, like Eazy said. You feel me? But shout out to the dads, man. Daddyhood is like fatherhood, but it's just better, man. So shout out to the people in the daddyhood. And while we shouting people out, man, shout out to all the Mr. Charlies out there doing the best they can. My Aunt Alice told me this story earlier this week about my uncle. Apparently he was trying to help her out in the kitchen, and I guess trying to help her cook or whatever the case was, Now, whether he was actually helping or not, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was helping to making things worse, by the way she was telling me the story. You know what I'm saying? That's that part of the story, and, what actually happened, that's still under investigation at some point. But at some point while he was helping, he said, I'm doing the best I can, like Mr. Charlie. And immediately she thought to tell me that story, man. So shout out to all the Mr. Charlies out there, man. The men trying, the men helping, the men getting blamed, for stuff, man. The men out there surviving, man. Shout out to y'all. Of course, y'all know I got a sale going on with free shipping, man, for the Daddyhood sets. I'm gonna put them somewhere up there on the screen, man. Shout out to the Daddyhood. I got other sets available as well. I got a few designs. I'll put them up here. I'll put the video up so y'all can see the other sets I got available. My website's down right now, so just hit me directly, DM me, send me an email, let me know what's going on, let me know what size you need, your address, and how you gonna send your payment, man, and we'll get you your short set for the summer. Shout outs, man. Birthday shout out. Shout out to everybody who's celebrating a birthday in the month of June, man. My sister just celebrated a birthday. I missed her brunch today, sis. Forgive me. I apologize. Don't come at me in the comments negatively. You know what I'm saying? Your brother still love you. I just couldn't make it to the brunch today. Shout out to my little niece, Jaslyn. Her little birthday party was today. Shout out to Carmen, my little niece, Carmen. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Tez. Happy birthday to y'all, man. All month long, man, for the birthdays in June. Also, I want to shout out, and my Discord is going crazy right now. Shout out to the people celebrating anniversaries, man. Shout out to the people still choosing each other, still loving on each other, still saying yes, even after the day they said yes. Shout out to them. Shout out to the survivors, man. If you made it through this week to this episode, if you made it through something that nobody clapped for, man, this shout out is for you, man. Shout out to the people. And shout out to the people I met this dude. I was at my job, and he's celebrating. He's been sober for 20 plus years, man. 20 to 25 years. He's been sober. He used to have a real alcoholism problem, you know what I'm saying? He remembers it. He carbon dates it by the last fight he had. So shout out to him, man, choosing to put the bottle down and start doing other things, start being more productive. So shout out to him. Here we go with my little faith anchor. Not my little faith, big faith around here, you know what I'm saying? Got my faith anchor. I always ground my episode with a verse. Joshua 1:9 says, "Be courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." This verse is about just knowing that God is with you no matter where you go, man. No matter where you go. Mental preparedness. This week's tip is I'm challenging everybody to learn a skill from somebody older than you. And what I mean by that is, like you got a lot of old school people out here, like people I learned from I was raised by old people. Let me just put it like that. My mom had me close to her 40s. So my grandparents when I was around them, they were well into their 60s, 70s, when I experienced them. My dad, he was an old geezer himself. Shout out to my dad. And I learned a lot from old people. I learned a lot about cooking, fishing, gardening, fixing things. Didn't quite learn the preserving food thing. I ain't learned how to can food. What I know now, I just know to put rice and beans in a bag and put a oxygen absorber in it, and you got food storage for 30 plus years. That's what I've learned recently. But, get with somebody who's been through some type of hardship or some type of been in a time where they just had to do things differently, you know what I'm saying? To try to pick up that skill from them. That's what I'm challenging everybody to do with this week's tip from mental preparedness, man. Find y'all an old person to listen to and sit down and talk to them. I don't know how people are going to feel about this episode, but I got to give, despite, if anybody that knows me, my relationship with my father has been kind of rocky, but I love my dad. You know what I'm saying? I've learned to forgive him over the years because, he's my dad, man. Today, I want to give my dad, give some flowers to my dad. Growing up in New Orleans, man, there wasn't a whole lot to do. And I'm thinking about it now. One thing we did have, we had a whole bunch of water. We had water everywhere. We had a lake, we had a river, we had a bayou, we had, some type of pond. We had just water everywhere. That's probably why, 20 plus years ago, man, we had an issue with, flooding. 'Cause, that water had to come from somewhere, But, one of my favorite things to do with my dad when I was younger was going fishing. Any excuse he could find to take me fishing, he did. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. We was going fishing. And whether it was a Friday night, we was fishing. If I finished my homework early, we was going fishing. If I didn't finish my homework, but I didn't have a lot of homework, we was going fishing. Got out of football practice, went fishing. No football practice, we going fishing. So y'all get the point, man. If it involved, you know what I'm saying? If it was that was like me and my dad's favorite pastime was fishing. That's one thing he taught me. And, so I know there's a saying that goes around, you give a man a fish, he eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll never go hungry. And my dad taught me how to fish. And if it's one thing, the world went to shit today. If there's one thing I know I could do, I know I can go out there and catch me some fish and possibly feed my family. If it involved water, my dad was interested. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of stories I can get on here and tell you about the times we had out there on the water, catching catfish, croaker, reds. And fishing was different back then, man. You could pull up to a dock and catch anything. Nowadays, out here in Texas, you need a boat to catch anything. It seems like you can't just catch. I mean, there's fishing spots, but they got you got fellow fishermen out here. They gatekeeping and they ain't trying to tell you the spots. And if they do, they probably send you in the mouth of a gator or something. So yeah, that's one thing. My dad loved fishing, man. I think even in the past, it's one of the things he taught all my uncles probably how to do. You know what I'm saying? If there's one thing my dad know how to do is fish. But moving on, most Saturdays, we didn't go we had a mall. We had malls in New Orleans. We wasn't just like poor city folk or whatever, but we had malls in New Orleans. But we didn't go to the mall, man. We went to the flea market. And my dad used to take me and my sister to the flea market, man. We'd buy everything from bootleg movies, bootleg music, fishing gear, BB guns, novelty items, pocket knives, random stuff we probably didn't need, you know what I'm saying? But it was a good pastime. It was just something we did on the weekends, and if I'm being honest, man, those were some of the best days we had, man, on Sundays and Saturdays, because that's when the flea markets was open. Now, let me say this, moving on to my next little topic segment, moving on, let me say this, Dad, to have a mom who's one of the best cooks in the world, and my grandmother, God rest her soul, my dad was not exactly a contender for her title. Don't get me wrong, man. If it was fish, shrimp, if it was seafood, my daddy could cook it. My daddy could throw down. You know what I'm saying? If it was seafood. But regular food, man, I don't think the issue was, sometimes I don't think the issue was that he couldn't cook. Let me say that. Let me pull my dad out the fire real quick. I don't think the issue was that he couldn't cook. It might have been that just, he cooked stuff that we didn't necessarily want. You know what I mean? So one thing I can remember off the top of my head was like the mixed vegetables and the lima beans, and a lot of the food I don't like now, I don't like it because my dad cooked it, and that gave me like that bad experience. So, mixed vegetables, grits, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that I don't know, man. It just wasn't appealing. You know what I'm saying? But I'll go to my grandma's house, I'll probably eat some grits because she know how to cook. Shout out to Nana. But me and my dad, man, we haven't always seen eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? We've had a lot of good times. We have had a lot of fun times. We've had a few bad times. You know what I'm saying? We've had a lot of disagreements, in the past, arguments, some fights. But one thing I can say about my dad, man, like my dad, he actually wanted to be in my life. And, that's gotta matter. If I'm putting a smiley face on something, that's gotta matter. Because there's a lot of fathers out here that just generally, be it because you could blame it on the baby mama, but I can't take that excuse, because I know two individuals that I call my brothers that, they have multiple child's mothers in their lives, and they at least attempt to make a conscious effort to always be in the child's life regardless of what's going on. I mean, until they get of age. When they get of age, hey, there's only so much you can do. But I know two of my brothers that actually make the attempt despite what goes on with their baby mamas. And so I'll never have that as an excuse. But my dad, regardless of all the stuff me and my dad went through, he actually wanted to be in my life. And I appreciate him for that. My dad always supported me. You know what I'm saying? He's always watching the podcast. He keeps I got to send him some merch. He keeps asking me about, my clothing brand. So he supports me there. When I was selling candles, my dad would support me. I still got an order I got to send to my dad now. My candles, my soap, whatever idea I might have had at the time, and I've had a lot of them, my dad supported it. And birthdays, holidays, he's always checking in unless he gone and disappeared like he did last time. He always tried to look out. Like any mistakes he made in the past, he's tried to reconcile for it. I can appreciate that. But now, with all that being said, and I gave all my dad all these flowers, he's still hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? He can't stay away from the casino. And him being retired ain't really helping that either, man. But, but that's my dad, and I love him, and I appreciate him. Even, letting bygones be bygones and letting the past be the past. I love my dad, man. Dad, I love you. If you're watching, you're listening, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for always being there. Thank you for looking out. I look forward to you getting better, staying out the casino. You and your group of friends who shall not be named on the Mental Game Podcast, man. But shout out to you, Dad. But for the people that's listening, watching, viewing, whatever on the live, wherever, if your parents are still here, acknowledge. Give them their flowers while they can still smell them, man. Acknowledge your family. Acknowledge your family. I've been watching too much wrestling. Acknowledge your fathers, especially in this month of June. If your dad's still around, you still here, give him a call. Check on him, see how he's doing, man. Cause you never know, man. Shout out to all the fathers I mentioned on the podcast so far, man. My dad, my grandfather, my brothers, my father figures. Shout out to y'all, man. That's all I got. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, but life gets busy. People get older. Time just flies by, man. Like my little niece, we went to her birthday party. She's 3 now, and at the party we were kind of talking, and we just, I had all these kids around that, just growing up, man, talking to nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And they got kids, and it's just crazy, just how time moves. Saying sometimes we focus a lot on the things people did wrong. We forget to appreciate what they did right. And today I'm grateful for my dad, and I wanna tell him that. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for my dad, the good, the bad, the lessons, the memories, all of it, man. Like I told y'all last time on my podcast, my dad used to book these impromptu road trips where all he had booked was a hotel room. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for it. If my dad wouldn't have did that, I probably wouldn't have experienced the theme park at all. Well, probably I ain't gonna say not at all, because mom did look out for me. She took us to Paramount King's Dominion. Mama looked out for us going forward. I'm talking about as a kid. like the kid, like going to Disney World and Universal Studios. If my dad didn't do that, I probably would have never set foot in one of those theme parks. And Dad looked out. Daddy was there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, appreciate you, Pop. Before I let y'all go, man, continue to shout out to Daddyhood. All the fathers out here doing what they got to do for their kids, looking out for their kids. Don't forget, man, it's your last week, man, to get it before Father's Day. You feel me? Hit me up, man. Shoot me a DM. Get y'all sets, man. Y'all Daddyhood sets. Get them in, man. Hit me directly, man. The website's still down. But I'm working on getting it back up. So, if that's all, I don't see nothing on the live. I think we good. That's everything, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning into the Mental Game Podcast. Another episode. We celebrating dads all month long. I got a special guest for y'all next week. Y'all just gonna have to wait and see, man. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all be easy and y'all be focused and not foolish. And we out.